Started recording? Yeah. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. So you see how many Purnam is there. There is a dish known as Puran Poli, you know that? Puran Poli, which is also Purna. You take that, you don't require anything else. Om Purnamada. Other means that person is complete. Purnamidam, this word is complete. Purna,
No.
stopping. Aruna Upadhyay, mute your phone.
Sorry, Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Purnat Purnam Udachyate. Whatever emanates from him is all perfect. Purnasya Purnam Adaya. What has been taken away is also perfect. Whatever is remaining is also perfect. Whatever is produced is perfect. Whatever is taken away is perfect. Whatever remains is perfect. He himself is perfect. This is perfect. Everything is perfect. This world is perfect. Why it is perfect? Because whatever we want, we get it. Like the room is perfect. That is why you live in that room. Body is perfect. That is why you are able to stay in this body. So whatever Krishna does is perfect. So this verse is very important verse which clearly mentions about the Supreme Personality of God. Om Purnamada Purnam Idam Purnat Purnam Udachyate. Whatever is produced, perfect. Purnasya Purnamadaya. Whatever is taken away, perfect. Purnasya Purnamadaya. Purnameva avashishyate. Whatever remains is perfect. Okay. The purpose. The complete whole or the supreme absolute truth is a complete personality of God. He is also complete. The realization of impersonal Brahman or of Paramatma, the super soul, is incomplete realization of that absolute complete. There is an incomplete realization because absolute truth is a person, but Brahman is impersonal. Again, Paramatma is also impersonal. That is incomplete realization of that complete whole. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is Satchidananda Vigraha. The realization of impersonal Brahman is realization of his Sat feature or his aspect of eternity. Paramatma realization is Satchit of his features, his aspect of eternity and knowledge. But realization of personality of Godhead is Satchit Ananda. So when one realizes the Supreme Person, he realizes these aspects of the absolute truth in their completeness. Vigraha means form. Thus the whole, complete whole, is not formless. If he were formless, or if he were less than the creation in any other way, he could not be complete. The complete whole must contain everything, both within and without, and beyond our experience. Otherwise, he cannot be complete. So this first paragraph speaks about Sat Chitta Ananda, but only Sat is Brahman. Sat and Chit, Paramatma realization. Satchit Ananda is a Swarupa. If Swarupa is not understood, then that Ananda cannot be experienced. The complete whole, the personality of God, has immense potencies, all of which are as complete as he is. Parasya Shaktir Vividheva Shruyate, Lord says, has so many energies, multifarious energies, and everything is complete. Thus, the phenomenal world is also complete in itself. The 24 elements of which this material universe is a temporary manifestation are arranged to produce everything necessary. So, Pradhana, that itself is also complete. Why? for the maintenance and subsistence of this creation. No other unit in the universe need make an extraneous effort to try to maintain the universe. Generally, we think I'm maintaining the family. We think a lot. That is the problem. Actually, it's the Lord who has maintained everything. We are only taking some credit. There's a nice song. करते हो तुम कन्हैया, नाम मेरा हो रहा है. What efforts you are doing? Tell me. Even the strength to go and work is also given by Lord. Body is given by Lord. Then whatever money we are getting, the other person is motivated to give to us. Just imagine if he says, I'll not give you, get lost. What will happen? So everything is functioning. Even the companies are functioning in a proper way because of the intelligence of Lord only. Whatever we see vibhutis in this material world, yadyad vibhuti matsatvam srimadurjitam eva. Krishna says, that is all my energy. So all credit actually goes to Krishna. We take a lot of credit. That is another thing. The universe functions on its own time scale, which is fixed by the energy of the complete. And then that schedule is completed. This temporary manifestation will be annihilated and all facilities are given to the complete, small complete unit, namely the living beings, to enable them to realize the complete whole. Now see, Lord has given the facility. And what is the facility Lord has given? Lord has given the body first. And just see, when our duration is over, then we have to go. Whatever arrangements we may do, we are not going to take anything. We do a lot of hangama to make so many arrangements. But once our duration is over, gone. All forms of incompleteness are experienced due to incomplete knowledge of the complete whole. If you remember, introduction Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada puts this. All sort of incompleteness is experienced because of incomplete knowledge of the complete whole. The human form of life is a complete manifestation of the consciousness of the living being. So complete manifestation of the consciousness. In other beings, that complete manifestation is not there. It is obtained after evolving through 84 lakh species, cycle of birth and death. If in this human form of life, full consciousness, if in this human life of full consciousness, the living entity does not realize his completeness in relation to the complete whole, he loses the chance to realize his completeness and is again put into the evolutionary cycle by the law of material nature. Because we do not know that there is complete arrangement in nature for our maintenance, we make efforts to utilize the resources of nature to create a so-called complete life of sense enjoyment. So that is not our necessity. But what we do, we just misuse the nature. And because of the lot of misuse of the nature, misutilization of the nature, that is why we find shortage. And that all is done for our sense gratification. Because the living entity cannot enjoy the life of the senses without being dovetailed. Without being dovetailed with the complete whole, the misleading life of sense enjoyment is illusion. Like the branch of the tree is there, and if you just cut off the branch, will the branch survive? No. In the same way, if we don't dovetail our activities with Lord, though we may try to enjoy our senses, we cannot. Because Rishikeshaha is one of the name of Lord. He is the controller of our senses. And we think that we can enjoy our senses. That is again an illusion. The hand of the body is a complete unit. Only as long as it is connected to the complete body. When the hand is severed from the body, it may appear like a hand, but it actually has none of the potencies of a hand. Similarly, living beings are part and parcel of the complete whole. Mamaivansho, Jiva Bhuta, Mamaivansho, Jiva Loka, Jiva Bhuta, Sanatana. Krishna says, every living entity is my part and parcel. And if they are severed from the complete whole, the illusory representation of completeness cannot fully satisfy them. The completeness of human life, can be realized only when one engages in the service of the complete whole. So now just see how many times completeness has been given. Because this verse itself is invocation prayer. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. So the completeness can be realized only when we serve the Supreme Lord. All services in this world, whether social, political, communal, international, or even interplanetary, will remain incomplete until they are dovetailed with the complete whole. When everything is dovetailed with the complete whole, the attached parts and parcels also become complete in themselves. So, Pushpa Mataji read the verse, Palash read the verse, Aruna read the verse, Goloka read the verse 4 times.
Mataji, can I start? Oh. Okay, I'll start with the verse, then Mataji's can follow after me.
Start.
Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya
Purnam Udachyate. This is how you should say.
Sorry.
Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate.
Once again, Mataji.
Hi.
Okay. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate.
Very good. Pushpa.
Hare Krishna. Om Purnamada Purnamitam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya
Om Purnasya
Purnamevavashishyate.
Here. Purnat Purnam Udachyate. There. Just one pause. Purnat Purnam Udachyate. Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Okay. Palash. You read properly, that itself is enough. Even if you don't make it.
Om Purnamada Purnamida Purnata Purnam Ujjate Purnasya Purnam Adaya Adaya Purnameva Vashishyate.
Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnam Evavashishyate.
Purnam Eva Vashishyate.
Okay, Aruna.
Hare
Then Anika
Krishna.
also will read. Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate
Udachyate.
Udachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purna Evaya Vashishyate.
Okay, Anika read. Anika and Sudha. You write Anika.
Hare Krishna Mata.
Read.
Om Purnamida Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnamadya Purnam
Adaya.
Evasishyate
Purnasya
Purnam
Purnam Adaya.
आय पूर्णम् एवावशिष्यते
एवावशिष्यते एवावशिष्यते.
एवावशिष्यते.
Who is Jai Janaki Devi Dasi? Keep your videos on. How will I know who is who? Jai Janaki Devi Dasi.
I am Jayasri, Jayasri, Jayasri,
Acha,
Jayasri
acha,
Devi.
like this and all, if it is suddenly right, then what? Okay, read. Read.
Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate
Purnat,
Purnas
Purnamudachyate. There only one pause. Purnat,
Purnat
don't do anything. Dachyate.
Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate.
Read it. Aditya,
Hare Krishna Mataji. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate.
Gita.
Hare Krishna. Om Purnamada Purnamida Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamivavashishyate.
Okay, now mantra 1. Ishavasymidam sarvam yatkincha
Hare
jagatyam
Krishna
jagat.
Mataji.
Yeah. You want to read? Read.
Yes, Mataji.
Read.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate.
Purnat Purnam udachyate. Don't put ma there.
Purnam
Purnasya Purnam. Purnat
Purna
Purnam udachyate.
Purnat Purnam. Yes, Mataji. Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnam eva vashishyate
Evavashishyate.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, mantra 1. Ishavasyam idam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena bhunjita ma vidatasya siddhanam. Ishavasyam idam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena bhunjita ma vidatasya siddhanam. Ishavasyam idam sarvam. Isha avasyam. Avasyam is controlled. Everything is controlled by whom? By Lord. Indirectly, why this Upanishad is very important? Because here Lord's personal aspect has been given. Impersonal cannot control anything. Now what has been given? Isha Avasyam. That means that Supreme is controlling everyone. That means he's a person. That is why this Upanishad is very much important among all the Upanishads. Isha Avasyam idam sarvam yat kincha jagatyam jagat. Whatever jagatyam jagat, within the universe, whether it is animate, inanimate, jagat, everything is controlled by him. Tena tyaktena bhunjita. Everybody has been given a quota. Just we should accept that. Ma vidatasya siddhanam. Don't try to take somebody else's wealth or somebody else's opportunity. Generally we teach children, na? How many marks your friend has got? Very wrong thing. You should never compare your children with others. Everybody gets their quota. It is set aside according to their karmas. If the child asks you then, how much you are earning, Appa? See, other fathers are earning so much. Oh, daddy, how much you are earning? If the child asks them, how much you will feel bad? Never compare. Comparison will only lead to degradation. Whatever has been given to us, be satisfied. The progress in material life depends on one's satisfaction. And progress in spiritual life depends on one's dissatisfaction. Exactly opposite. If you are satisfied, oh, I am doing 16 rounds, enough, that is enough. Dissatisfaction in spiritual life is the key success for the advancement in spiritual life. satisfaction in material life is the key success to advance in material life. If you're satisfied, दो वक्त का मिल रहा है, दो जन को खिला पाते हैं. My father used to always say this. If you are able to feed two people and you are able to feed yourself, then you are that is enough for you. In your house, somebody comes, you should be able to feed them. Generally, we see people are very rich, but somebody goes to their house, they are not able to feed them. What is the use? You eat, you should make others also eat. That is how the sanskara is, pancha sanskara. That is how the first 5 people have to be invoked. You should call some atiti. You should always be ready for some atiti to come. You should feed the cow, feed the brahmanas, feed the devatas. So, alag we are not able to do, you feed the Lord. But then somebody comes to you, just don't give some water and go tell them to go. No, you should have something to give them. That means your house is Purnam. You're not able to give to someone, what is the use? So everybody has got a quota and be satisfied with one's quota. Okay. So Gita Mataji, read the words, read the translation. Now after that, you read the first para. Then Aruna will read the second, third, fourth para. Then we'll see. Read.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. ईशावास्यमिदं सर्वं यत्किञ्च
Jagatyam Jagat.
जगत्तेन त्यक्तेन भुञ्जिता मा घृतः कस्य स्विद्धनम्. Translation: everything animate or inanimate that is within the universe is controlled and owned by the Lord. One should therefore accept only those things necessary for himself which are set aside as his quota, and one should not accept other things knowing well to whom they belong. Purport: Vedic knowledge is infallible because it comes down through the perfect disciplic succession of spiritual masters, beginning with the Lord himself. Since he spoke the first word of Vedic knowledge, the source of this knowledge is transcendental. The words spoken by the Lord are called abhauraseya, which indicates that they are not delivered by any mundane person. A living being who lives in the mundane world has 4 defects. He is certain to commit mistakes. He is subject to illusion. He has a propensity to cheat others, and his senses are imperfect. No one with these 4 imperfections can deliver perfect knowledge. The Vedas are not produced by such an imperfect creature. Vedic knowledge was originally imparted by the Lord into the heart of Brahma, the first created living being, and Brahma in his turn disseminated this knowledge to his sons and disciples who have handed it down through history. Since the Lord is
Hare Krishna.
Purna. Hare Krishna.
Wait. Let Aruna read.
The Lord proprietorship. Since the Lord is Purnam, all perfect, there is no possibility of his being subjected to the laws of material nature, which he controls. However, both the living entities and inanimate objects are controlled by the laws of nature and ultimately by the laws of potency. The isoupanishad is part of the Yajur and consequently it contains information concerning the proprietorship of all things existing within the universe. The Lord's proprietorship over everything within the universe is confirmed in the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita 7.4 and 5, when para and apara prakriti are discussed. The elements of nature are earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and ego. All belongs to the Lord's inferior material energy, apara prakriti, whereas the living being, the organic energy, is his superior energy, para prakriti. Both of these prakritis or energies are emanation from the Lord, and ultimately he is the controller of everything that exists. There is nothing in this universe that does not belong to either the para or the apara prakritis. Prakriti.
Okay.
Therefore, everything is the proprietor of the
Okay.
supreme being.
Property of the supreme being. So now here, Apaurusha, the same thing has been repeated. We did in the introduction. Apaurusha, it has not been given by any material person. Krishna is Apaurusha. And then 4 defects, what we have. With this defect, we cannot acquire the real knowledge. So that is how the Lord gives this knowledge to Brahma first. Tene Brahma Urdaya Adi Kavaya Muyyanti Surya. Lord gives this knowledge to Brahma. And from Brahma, it is handed over to in the proper disciplic succession. And then Lord is Purnam. And how is this Isoupanishad? Isoupanishad comes in Yajurveda. It's a part of Yajurveda. We are told that every Veda, the whole Veda is divided into 4 sections, 4 parts, total number of chapters, and every chapter has the 4th division, that is 4 divisions are there: Brahmanakas, Aranyakas, Samhitas, and Upanishad. So this chapter in which Isoupanishad comes, that is there in Yajurveda. Now 7.4 and 5. Bhumira Ponalo Vayu, Kammano Buddhi Devacha, Karitiyamne, Binna Prakriti Ashtada. That is all which Shakti is Apara Shakti. Then Lord says in the 5th verse, Apareyam Nitasvanyam Prakriti Vidhi Me Param Jiva Bhuta Mahabhav Yedam Dharete Jaka. That is Para Shakti. Para means superior energy. Jiva Shakti is superior energy. And 24 elements are inferior energy, out of which 8 has been discussed. Why inferior? No consciousness. Why superior? Because consciousness is there. Okay. So Manara, yeah.
Just wanted more understanding on Apaurusha, Mataji.
Apaurusha, not of this material world. Apaurusha. Lord is the only Purusha. But people think that they are Purusha, this Purusha, the material Purusha, not of this material Purusha. Okay? Apaurusha. It has come from Lord.
Mataji, but this, it is called, the words spoken by the Lord are called Apaurusha, no?
Yeah. He is Apaurusha. Words are also Apaurusha.
Okay.
Mana Roy.
Hare Krishna Mataji. The Supreme Being, the Absolute Personality of Godhead, being the complete person, has the
Wait,
complete...
where you're reading?
Mataji, after that.
You have to read here. Because the Supreme Being, the Absolute Personality of Godhead, is the complete person. That's from there.
Mataji, I have the old scan 1996 version, so that's the reason the words are
Wait.
different.
Then you don't read. Then we have to go to that version then. Goloka, read.
Yes, Mataji. Because the Supreme Being, the absolute personality of Godhead, is the complete person, he has complete and perfect intelligence to adjust everything by means of his different potencies. The Supreme Being is often compared to a fire, and everything organic and inorganic is compared to the heat and light of that fire. Just as fire distributes energy in the form of heat and light, the Lord displays his energy in different ways. He thus remains the ultimate controller, sustainer, and dictator of everything. He is the possessor of all potencies, the knower of everything, and the benefactor of everyone. He is full of inconceivable opulence, power, fame, beauty, knowledge, and renunciation. One should therefore be intelligent enough to know that, except for the Lord, no one is a proprietor of anything. One should accept only those things that are set aside by the Lord as his quota. The cow, for instance, gives milk, but she does not drink that milk. She eats grass and straw, and her milk is designated as food for human beings. Such is the arrangement of the Lord. Thus, we should be satisfied with those things He has kindly set aside for us, and we should always consider to whom those things we possess actually belong. Take, for example, our dwelling, which is made of earth, wood, stone, iron, cement, and so many other materials. If we think in terms of Sri Upanishad, we must know that we cannot produce any of these building materials ourselves. We can simply bring them together and transform them into different shapes by our labor. A laborer cannot claim to be a proprietor of a thing just because he has worked hard to manufacture it. In modern society, there is always a great quarrel between the laborers and the capitalists. This quarrel has taken an international shape and the world is in danger. Men face one another in enmity and snarl, just like cats and dogs. Sri Upanishad cannot give advice to the
Why
cats and
Prabhupada always writes cats and dogs? I and mine. Cat closes the eyes. No one seeing me. I am alone. Dog demarks this area. Mine. Ajnanata. Cats and dogs means ajnanata. Aham mama iti ajnanam. Aham, I. Mama, mine. Ahankara, mamakara. Okay. Why snakes and mongoose is not written, but cats and dogs. Okay.
but it can deliver the message of Godhead to man through the bona fide acharyas, holy teachers. The human race should take the Vedic wisdom of Sri Upanishad and not quarrel over material possessions. One must be satisfied with whatever privileges are given to him by the mercy of the Lord. There can be no peace if the communists or capitalists or any other party claims proprietorship over the resources of nature, which are entirely the property of the Lord. The capitalists cannot curb the communists simply by political maneuvering, nor can the communists defeat the capitalists simply by fighting for stolen bread. If they do not recognize the proprietorship of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, all the property they claim to be their own is stolen. Consequently, they will be liable to punishment by the laws of nature. Nuclear bombs are in the hands of both communists and capitalists. And if both do not recognize the proprietorship of the Supreme Lord, it is certain that these bombs will ultimately ruin both parties. Thus, in order to save themselves and bring peace to the world, both parties must follow the instructions of Sri Upanishad.
Okay.
Human
So capitalists and communists. Capitalists, they hoard things. Communists, they think that everything should be divided equal. Doesn't work. Everyone gets according to their karma. But that doesn't again mean that you have to hoard things. Hoarding has not been allowed. Everything belongs to Lord. Whatever a person is assigned, he will get it. So from here now, Aditya read.
Mataji, it is Sri Ishopanishad, no?
Hmm.
No, she was okay.
Why?
I
What
confused.
happened? Here also Sri
Ah,
Upanishad.
Ishopanishad, because I
Sri
thought she is reading as Upanishad, Sri Upanishad, like that.
Sri Ishopanishad.
Ishopanishad. She was reading, I think it is Sri Upanishad. So I was confused.
Did you read like that or what? Sri
I don't
Ishopanishad.
remember Mataji, but I'm sure it's
Okay.
Sri Ishopanishad. Maybe I was reading too fast.
Sri
Because I got
Ishopanishad.
confused because of that.
Okay. Now we read. Aditya read.
Hare Krishna. Human beings are not meant to quarrel like cats and dogs. They must be intelligent enough to realize the importance and aim of human life. The Vedic literature is meant for humanity and not for cats and dogs. Cats and dogs can kill other animals for food without incurring sin. But if a man kills an animal for the satisfaction of his uncontrolled taste buds, he is responsible for breaking the laws of nature. Consequently, he must be punished. The standard of life for human beings cannot be applied to animals. The tiger does not eat rice and wheat or drink cow's milk because he has been given food in the shape of animal flesh. Among the many animals and birds, some are vegetarian and others are carnivorous, but none of them transgress the laws of nature, which have been ordained by the will of the Lord. Animals, birds, reptiles, and other lower life forms strictly adhere to the laws of nature. Therefore, there is no question of sin for them. nor are the Vedic instructions meant for them. Human life alone is a life of responsibility. It is wrong, however, to think that simply by becoming a vegetarian one can avoid transgressing the laws of nature. Vegetables also have life, and while it is nature's law that one living being is meant to feed on another, for human beings the point is to recognize the Supreme Lord. Thus, one should not be proud of being a strict vegetarian. Animals do not have developed consciousness by which to recognize the Lord, but a human being is sufficiently intelligent to take lessons from the Vedic literature and thereby know how the laws of nature are working and derive profit out of such knowledge. If a man neglects the instruction of the Vedic literature, his life becomes very risky. A human being is therefore required to recognize the authority of the Supreme Lord and become his devotee. He must offer everything for the Lord's service and partake only of the remnants of food offered to the Lord. This will enable him to discharge his duty properly. In Bhagavad Gita 9.26, the Lord directly states that he accepts vegetarian food from the hands of a pure devotee. Therefore, a human being should not only become a strict vegetarian, but should also become a devotee of the Lord, offer the Lord all his food, and then partake of such prasadam or the mercy of God. Only those who act in this way can properly discharge the duties of human life. Those who do not offer their food to the Lord eat nothing but sin and subject themselves to various types of distress, which are the result of sin. Bhagavad Gita 3.30. The root of sin is deliberate disobedience to the laws of nature through disregarding the proprietorship of the Lord. Disobeying the laws of nature or the order of the Lord brings ruin to a human being. Conversely, one who is sober, who knows the laws of nature, and who is not influenced by unnecessary attachment or aversion is sure to be recognized by the Lord and thus become eligible to go back to Godhead, back to the eternal home. Hare Krishna.
So disobeying the laws of nature or the order of Lord brings ruin to the human being. So one who's sober, who knows the law of nature, who's not influenced by unnecessary attachment or aversion, is sure to be recognized by the Lord. So nicely Prabhupada has written, has described the whole verse. So the instructions has been given in the Vedic literature. If you neglect that, our life becomes risky. Prabhupada said, life is risky. Like if you don't follow the rules and regulations given on the roads, then driving car is also risky. Okay, what's the time now?
8:45.
8:40.
Okay, we'll take the second verse.
Yes, yes.
Marathi, one question, Marathi. How do we
Yeah.
know our quota? Like
How do we know our
our
quota?
quota.
What is really acquired? If you see, if you nice question this is, how we know our quota? If you remember the words in Nectar of Instructions where it is said Atyahara Prayasascha Prajalpo Niyamagraha Janasangasya Laulyam Cha Shadbir Bhaktir Vilashati. You have to compare that. Too much of accumulation, too much of endeavor, extraneous endeavor, not required. Satisfaction. That is why satisfaction is the only way to understand our quota. So this is the easiest way. If you are dissatisfied for everything, then it is accumulation. You can see in many of the things, like if you have satisfaction in your life, you earn. It's not that you should not go to earn, you should earn. But some people, even after earning also, they will have some extra job. They'll do some extra so that they want something extra. They'll have one bungalow, they want 2 bungalow, 3 bungalow, 4 bungalow. There is no end for it. What is all these things? Atyahara, ati ahara, atyahara prayasascha. For that, what a person does, lot of prayas he does, which is not required. Lot of prayas. Whatever has been there should be contentment, there should be satisfaction. If there is no satisfaction, nothing can be done. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Mataji.
Mataji, I have questions. Mataji,
Tell, I'm hearing.
Mataji, how we can connect invocation mantra with the first mantra?
Invocation. Invocation is what Om Purnamada Purnamidam, right? He has given everything. Everything is so perfect. And even whatever given to us is also perfect. Quota is also perfect. But
Okay.
we see others. That's the problem. Thinking that Lord has not given us, there is something incompleteness in our life. Incompleteness is felt because of incomplete understanding about our relationship to Lord. That is how you have to connect the verse.
Okay.
And because this verse is there, now next verse also will come. That is also connected verse. Lord has given quota. Very nice. But what happens? Let us see. Any other doubt in that verse? Then we'll
Yeah.
take this verse.
Mataji, I have even in mantra 1 only, how we can apply Ishavasya principle, Mataji?
Everything, first thing belongs to Lord. Time belongs to Lord. Utilize the time, fullest to Krishna's service. Body belongs to Lord. Utilize the body, fullest to Krishna's service. The first quota given is our body itself, human body, human life. That is our first quota. Utilize the time, utilize the facilities which has been given to the fullest in Krishna's service.
Okay. Okay, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Mataji, just one thing I wanted to ask, Hare Krishna. When we say that we are satisfied, people misunderstand it to be a laid back attitude. In our
There are so
today's
many
world,
philosophies people have put.
competition.
So many philosophies people have put. But Shastra says satisfaction in material life is a progress in the spiritual life. If we are not satisfied in material life, we'll hanker more and more. The Jnanis, philosophers have given so many theories. Work hard. Actually, hardly work. They tell the children, work hard, work hard. They're donkeys or what? Hardly work. Human life is not for working so much. Morning to night, you just work, work, work. There is no time for anything. Human life is not for that. Some work to keep our body and soul together, to keep the dependents, body and soul together. Somewhere some saving. No. You see, people work so much. In Bombay, don't ask. More than work, they only travel. Work is less, travel is more. Where there is strength after traveling 3 hours, what strength is left in the office? That is why they first go and sit. And every company has a canteen. Then they go eat, drink something. There also they spend money. Last and second part of the day they work. Remain late and then come late. What a life you just see. All these verses becomes a failure, you know that in Bombay. you, all these verses are a big failure here. Because no one is satisfied. Everybody has to work hard. What they'll do? But somehow some connection to Srila Prabhupada, somewhere the devotee, even while traveling, chants Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Some purity is there. But don't think that is the topmost. No, that is the process is topmost. But for us to reach that level will take time. Because so much of hurry, so much of worry, anxiety, all these things, these verses, what we'll understand. 6 hours a person travels. 8 hours a person works. How many became? 14 hours. 6 hours he sleeps hardly. 6 to 7
11, 14.
Left is 3 hours. 1 hour goes to take bath and all 2 times. 1 hour goes to eat. 1 hour gossip. Just see, where is the time even to chant? But somehow devotees remove some time, 1 hour, 2 hours. So Lord is saying, very good. So in the next life, maybe Lord may give in a very calm place where your office is just next door and you have a lot of time to chant and read books. Not that you go on traveling. I've gone now to Varanasi and all. I saw how peaceful people are. The moment I was entering Bombay, I was seeing I'm entering Kacharapatti. Even from the top, I was seeing from the plane. Everywhere you can see the patches of land so nicely. But when you enter Bombay, you can only see jhopalpattis. Either jhopalpatti or big buildings, hardly space to breathe. Here we are actually stuck. Sometimes I feel should run away from here, but then no, mission has been given by my Guru Maharaj. So I have to fulfill what to do. But here we
I
don't have
just
time
want
for
to add one
anything.
thing.
Huh? What?
You just said that, na Mataji, ki you Krishna will see you are into this in this janam, and then in the next janam you may get a place where you are working nearby. I actually experienced it in this janam only, Mataji. You said it right now, and I experienced it also because I was working somewhere very far away from my um, area,
So
and I
Lord has
had to travel
delivered you
for
in
two
this life
hours.
only.
Yes, Mataji, truly, you just said what I have experienced. For
Yeah.
2 hours, I had to
Some
travel from my
fortunate
place
souls
to
they
my
get all this
workplace.
benefit.
And yeah, and I started chanting and all in 2020, and later by 21, 22, Krishna gave his blessing, and I have
Yeah, if
the
you're
office
sincere,
at nearby workplace.
yes, if you're sincere, Krishna helps within this life. You don't have to wait for
Hare
the next life. If you're sincere, Krishna gives a lot of time. But then you have to utilize the time in a right way. Chant nicely, read books, give time to yourself, give time to develop oneself. What is it, oneself? Yourself, oneself means what? Give time to Krishna. Because one self is Krishna. One is a soul. Soul is what? Krishna. Okay. So next verse. Kurvaneveha karmani vijivishe chatam samaham evam tvainanutetoste na karma lipyate naraham. Memorize all these verses. Huh? This should be a swadhyay every day. All lecture of instruction, all 11 verses and these verses. Kurvaneveha karmani vijivishe chatam samaham evam tvainanutetoste na karma lipyate nare. So kurvan, doing continuously, evadas, iha, during this span of life, karmani, work, vishet, one should desire to live, shatam, 100, samaha, years. Evam, so living, swai unto you, no, anyata, alternative, itaha, from this part, asti, there is no, not, karma, work, lipyate, can be bound, nare, into a man. One may aspire to live for hundreds of years if he continuously goes on working in that way. For that sort of work will not bind him to the law of karma. There is no alternative to this way for man. So if he continuously work in this way, that yes, whatever quota has been given, let me be satisfied. And if you are satisfied, naturally you don't have anxiety. If you don't have anxiety, you will live long. No blood pressure, no diabetes. So that is why it is said here. If you live like this, you will live for 100 years. Scientifically also see, all the diseases are because of what? Anxiety, what we take. For no reason. For anxiety, we give to even children also. And the children, they go on comparing to others and they are also not happy. Mother is also not. Dissatisfaction will only lead to hospitals and nothing else. And there is no alternative to this for man. Everybody gets according to their karmas, and if you are satisfied, and whatever samarthya we have, we connect it to Lord. यज्ञार्थात् कर्मणो यत्र लोकोऽयं कर्मबन्धनः तदर्थं कर्म कौन्तेय मुक्तसङ्गसमाचर. We have studied this verse in Bhagavad Gita 3.9, 3rd chapter, 9th verse. Yajñāthat karmano natraha. Do everything for Krishna. Yajñāthat. Yajñāthat is for him. One of the name of Krishna is Yajna. Do work for him. Anyatraha karma bandhanaha. Anything else, if you are getting fruits, that fruit is also for Krishna. Rupa Goswami says 50% should be for spiritual activity. But if you are not able to give that much, at least 25. If 100 rupees you are earning, 25 rupees should go to the temples. This is too much. What I'll do with my income tax and all? Okay, at least 10%. That is also too much. You ask a person earning 1 lakh to give 10,000 every month. This is too much. Okay, not that much, at least 1,000. Then also people feel it very hard to give. As I just said, at least give like how you put a salt in the food. If you don't do that, the same fruits will bind us. And there will be no satisfaction. Okay. Goloka read the verse. And then Jai Shri read, Anuj read. And then Priyanka will read.
कुर्वाणेव कर्माणि जिजीवे शतं समः एवं त्वयि नान्यथेतोऽस्ति न कर्म लिप्यते नरे. Mati, should I read translation?
You read translation and purport.
Okay.
Understood.
Translation: one may aspire to live for hundreds of years if he continuously goes on working in that way. For that sort of work will not bind him to the law of karma. There is no alternative to this way for man. Purport.
Okay. Wait. Anuj read.
Hare Krishna. No one wants to die. Everyone wants to live as long as we can drag on. This tendency is visible not only individually but also collectively in the community, society, and nation. There is a hard struggle for life by all kinds of living entities, and the Vedas say that this is quite natural. The living being is eternal by nature, but due to his bondage in material existence, he has to change his body over and over. This process is called transmigration of soul and karma bandhan, bondage by one work. The living entity has to work for his livelihood because that is the law of material nature, and if he does not act according to his prescribed duties, he transgresses the law of nature and binds himself more and more to the cycle of birth and death in the many phases of life. Other
Okay.
life
From
forms
here, wait. Diya read.
Other life forms are also subject to the cycle of birth and death. But when the living entity attains a human life, he gets a chance to get free from the chains of karma. Karma, akarma, and vikarma are very clearly described in Bhagavad Gita. Actions that are performed in terms of one's prescribed duties, as mentioned in the revealed scriptures, are called karma. Actions that free one from the cycle of birth and death are called akarma. And actions that are performed through the misuse of one's freedom and direct one to the lower life forms are called vikarma. Of these three types of action, that which frees one from the bondage of to karma is preferred by intelligent man. Ordinary men wish to perform good work in order to be recognized and achieve some higher status of life in this world or in heaven. But more advanced men want to be free altogether from the actions and reactions of work. Intelligent men well know that both good and bad work equally bind one to the material miseries. Consequently, they seek that work which will free them from the reactions of both good and bad work. Such liberating work is described here in the pages of Sri Upanishad. The instructions of Sri Upanishad are more elaborately explained in Bhagavad Gita, sometimes called Gita Upanishad, the cream of all Upanishads. In Bhagavad Gita 3.9 to 16, the personality of Godhead says that one can attain the state of Nishkarma or akarma without executing the prescribed duties mentioned in the Vedic literature. This literature can regulate the working energy of a human being in such a way that he can gradually realize the authority of Supreme Being. When he realizes the authority of the personality of Godhead, Vasudeva or Krishna, it is to be understood that he has attained the stage of positive knowledge. In this purified stage, the mode of nature, namely goodness, passion, and ignorance, cannot act, and he is able to work on the basis of nishkarmya. Such work
Nishkarma.
does not bind nishkarma. Such work does not bind one to the cycle of birth and death.
Okay,
Actually,
one minute.
no one.
One minute, one minute, one minute. So in the purified stage of the modes cannot work, cannot act. So he works on the basis of Naishkarmya. But Naishkarmya should be with Achyuta Bhava. If there is no Achyuta Bhava, even Naishkarmya is a failure. Bhagavatam speaks about it. Naishkarmyam api Achyuta Bhava varjitam na shobhate jnanam alam niranjalam. What is the use of jnana? What is the use of Nishkama Karma Yoga if there is no Achyuta Bhava? Nishkama Karma. When you say yoga means actually it is connected to Lord. Nishkama means no desire for the fruits. Fruits are there, you give 100% to the Lord. But if you're not giving to the Lord, what is the use of even that Nishkam? What is the use of even having no attachment to the fruits if we are not able to connect the fruits? The isoupanishad has been elaborately described in Bhagavad Gita. Okay, Priyanka, read from here.
Mataji, can you explain
Mataji.
Achyuta Bhava a bit?
Achyuta Bhava means no Bhava for Achyuta. Achyuta Bhava Varjitam. No Bhava for Krishna. Achyuta. His name is Achyuta. Okay, read Priyanka.
Krishna Mataji. Factually, no one has to do anything more than render devotional service to the Lord. However, in the lower stage of life, one cannot immediately adopt the activities of devotional service, nor can completely stop fruitive work. A conditioned soul is accustomed to working in sense gratification for his own selfish interest, accustomed to working for sense gratification for his own selfish interest, immediate or extend. An ordinary man works for his own sense.
It is extended. Extended. Immediate means for himself. Extended means for the society. Yeah.
An ordinary man works for his own sense enjoyment, and when his principles of sense enjoyment is extended to include his society, nation, or humanity in general, it assumes various attractive names such as altruism, socialism, communism, nationalism, humanitarianism. These isms are certainly very attractive form of karma bandha, that is karmic bondage, but the Vedic instructions
Karma bandhanaha.
Karmic bondage, but the Vedic instructions of Sri Isoupanishad is that if one actually wants to live for any of the above isms, he should make them God-centered. There is no harm in becoming a family man or altruist, a socialist or communist or nationalist or humanitarianism, provided that one execute his activities in relation with Ishavashya,
Ishavasya, the God-centered conception.
Ishavashya, the God-centered conception.
Vashya nahi, Ishavasya.
Vasya.
Vasya.
Isha
Yes.
Vasya. The
Wait,
God
wait, wait.
centered.
Conception. So all the isms are just failure if we don't have Lord in the center. So that has been given. Just in the name of nationalism, of communism, nationalism, socialism, altruism, all these things are only some type of isms to fulfill one's extended sense enjoyment. Okay, Aruna, read from here.
Hare Krishna. In the Bhagavad Gita 2.40, Lord Krishna states that God centered activities are so valuable that just a few of them can save a person from the greatest danger. The greatest danger of life is the danger of gliding down again into the evolutionary
Gliding on.
evolutionary cycle of birth and death among 84 lakh species. If somehow or other man misses the spiritual opportunity afforded by his human form of life and falls down again into the evolutionary cycle, he must be considered most unfortunate. Due to his defective senses, a foolish man cannot see that this is happening. Consequently, Sri Ishopanishad advises us to exert out energy in the spirit of Ishavasya. Being so engaged, we may wish to live for many, many years. Otherwise, a long life in itself has no value. A tree lives for for hundreds and hundreds of years, but there is no point in living a long time like a trees or breathing like a bellows or begetting children like hawks and dogs, or eating like a camels. A humble God centered life more valuable than a colossal hoax of a life dedicated to godless altruism or socialism. When altruist activities are executed in the spirit of Sri Ishopanishad, they become from they become a form of karma yoga. Such activities are recommended in the Bhagavad Gita 18.5 to 9, for they guarantee their executors protection from the danger of sliding down into the evolutionary process of birth and death. Even though such God centered activities may be half finished, they are still good for the executors because they will guarantee him a human form in his next birth. In this way, one can have another chance to improve his position on the path of liberation. How one can execute God centered activities is elaborately explained in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu by Srila Rupa Goswami. We have rendered this book into English as a nectar of devotion. We recommended this valuable book to all who are interested in performing their activities in the spirit of Sri Ishopanishad. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Let's note down 1, 2, 3. They speak about law of nature. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 speaks about the vision of Mahabhagavad. 9 say 14, different paths, absolute and relative paths, about the knowledge, different types of knowledge. Okay. 9, 10, 11 speaks about the knowledge. And the whole 9 to 14 speaks about different paths. Then general. So 1 to 3 speaks about the law of nature. This is the law of nature. Everything belongs to Lord. Whatever we have got, we should be satisfied. And if we are satisfied, we can live for 100 years. So the Prabhupada says no one wants to die. But then how to live long? So this is the key. This is the key to live long. Then if one doesn't follow, he's a demon. That will come in the third one. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 speaks about the vision of Mahabhagavad. 9, 10, 11 about different types of knowledge. Knowledge, you can say, just knowledge. And again, 9 to 14 is different paths. Okay. Stop here.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I have a question in verse
Yeah.
2. So in the third last paragraph, there is a mention that a tree lives for hundreds and hundreds of years, but there is no point in living like a tree, or breathing like bellows, or begetting children like hogs and dogs, or eating like camels. So what does it mean, Mataji? Breathing like bellows or eating like camels?
So camel, when it eats, it actually eats the thorns, and the time the blood comes, and it thinks that it is tasting. It finds some taste in its own blood. That is how, when we work hard, we are thinking that we are enjoying, but we are actually tasting our own blood. And like bellows, if you see, just that bellow comes, that goldsmithy does, it becomes like pump like. What's the use of our heart pumping if there is no Krishna consciousness? It is like the pumping of the bellow. What's the use of living like a tree when a person has no consciousness for Krishna? Tree has no consciousness. That's why even if you cut the tree doesn't feel bad or good. What's the use of living like a tree if there is no heart for Lord? As a camel example is given, eating its own blood. Our enjoyment is nothing but eating our own blood. People work hard, then go somewhere and put all their money and come back. What's the use? Neither they are satisfied, and nor it is approved in the Shastri. Okay?
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
And bellow means that blacksmith has that bellow. It's only like, okay. So Vanchakalpayavesha Kripa Sindhuvesha Parisanam Pavanivo Haribo Krishna will be Jai, Shri Prabhupada ki Jai. Just this Friday there will be no class, as I told. Don't take for Hindi class. Monday we will meet.